Ha! Yes. Very on time. Punctuality is one of my best qualities. You know what I'm saying? I have to admit, these days, going to work on time, on the dot, is proven to be more and more difficult. So, give me the leniency of 1 minute, 2 minutes. Right? Let's not be too stingy, too cheap. You're talking to a Chinese guy right here. So, sometimes I joke work, sometimes don't. Last night, I was watching Ken Jeong, right, on Netflix. Hey, what's up? What's going on? Immediately I got our first viewer. Let me respond back with the wave. How you doing? Thank you for joining. Oh! Sunset Park Railroad just joining. What's up, Mr. Henry over here? What's up? Hey, good. This is a crazy time to do a live video unless you're on lunch break, or you're the boss, or you're someone like me who can multitask. So I'm not exactly doing lunch break today. Schedule's all messed up. All aboard the Sunset Park Railroad. Little bit. Here we go. So I got 1 second here. I got a message on Facebook Messenger. Anyway, you know what? I forgot. I'm not doing live on Facebook. I'm doing live on Instagram. So whoever just messaged me can kiss my ass. I'm gonna reply back to you soon. All right. So I'm not exactly working. At the same time, I'm not exactly eating lunch. I had a very late lunch. I had a delicious ABLT, which is avocado BLT, basically. I love the place I ordered from. They're really good. They give me a lot. It's avocado BLT, yet the highlight of the sandwich, as you expected, it's the lettuce. It's a lot of lettuce, a lot of tomato, and bacon. And it gets less and less toward the bottom, and then the egg comes out, the avocado, which is really small, But that's all good. I had that. I also had a yogurt, and I'm good. That's around like 10:30, 11. So I thought, you know what? I'm doing this tedious job. So currently I'm doing medical audits. So HIPAA privacy. I'm not gonna reveal so much stuff, but right now it's a tedious part. As I receive more and more assignments, I gotta create these paperworks. So luckily, I spent about a decade or so in freight forwarding, doing ocean and air import, especially ocean import. If you ever worked in freight forwarding, you gotta type something called arrival notice, which is very tedious, especially when you have a lot of accounts to deal with, especially when you're dealing with loose freight shipments, LCL. You gotta put them into consolidation. Everybody got their own piece counts. Everybody got their own weight. It's in kilo, converted to pound. You got the CBM, the volume. And then you have the invoice, the charges, the percentage. You see all the bottom lines. Crazy, tedious, a lot of numbers. Doesn't go well with people with Tourette syndrome. I'm dyslexic, like dyslexia, right? I have issue writing, right? My writings, at first, I thought it was chicken scratch. A lot of people say you write like chicken scratch. And later on, when I found out about the dysgraphia or dyslexic property of having Tourette's, then I realized, wow, a lot of people out there like me write like doctors, so we all can write doctor notes. Yes. Nothing like playing hooky, right? So, this week is great. My kids are out. My both sons went upstate with grandma. There's a lot of snow up there. They're living in the wilderness. They got chicken farm, so they're up there. I'm trying to limit my son playing too much video game, but he brought the video game that up there anyway. So, but I heard he's having a nice balanced life. Go to sleep on time, playing video game. Kid's young. He's only 5. I already figured out how to play Minecraft. And I got to give thanks to Minecraft, because I don't even know how he learned those phrases, different items, details, What's the difference between this and that? He understands the words. He knows exactly what to look for. He might not be able to, write them down and spell them or even say them correctly, but he knows where to look for these pieces. Great. College class just finished. Yep, college class just finished. Oh man, my college day was like what? 2003, 2004. College wasn't good for me, man. College, I was like a 80, 85 average student back in high school. My worst subject is mathematics. Yes, I get that a lot. So, why you're Chinese? You bad in math? What's wrong with you? I was once a math tutor. Back in when I was doing trigonometry. I maxed out. I hit the ceiling when I reached trig. I think when they were introducing us to the matrix, the box, I was lost. So is statistic, probability. I think, and also when it comes to math, when used in physics, in chemistry, I'm pretty bad with fraction. My mind just get totally discombobulated, But when it comes down to practical math, I'm good. Practical math, I'm good. I can at least picture, put into visualization. But if stuff that kind of require a graphing calculator, and you ask me to figure out, I'm terrible with that. So I'm not exactly completely math illiterate, right? But I'm bad in math. So back in high school, I was good in English. Right, I was good in social studies, history, everything else but math. Of course, like I said, I tutored up to 11th grade. By 12th grade, we hit pre-cal, and I totally collapsed. So I tried to go to Stony Brook. I applied for Stony Brook for biology. I applied to SUNY Purchase for environmental science, actually. So I know if Purchase I can get in. It's an easy school to get in. And I did get in. Actually, they gave me a $5,000 a year grant for environmental science. Fuck, man, it's great, man. Especially I have friends now working for the EPA. Despite right now with Trump challenging, fight the good fight for the environment. I should have done that, right? But my mom talked me into stay close, But before that, Stony Brook also kind of wanted me. They like my biology grades, but they were kind of concerned about my math, especially pre-cal. It's so low. The whole year run, I got like a 65. So they told me, you know what? If you can give us a 75, we will take you. So, my friend said, yo, that's a great bargain, man. 75, no one ever asked that from Stony Brook, So I said, okay, cool. And then, at the end of the semester, so in the morning, we had this, at the time, it was back in 1998, we had really fucked up schedule. I had math class at freaking 7 o'clock in the morning. And my lunch is at 7:30 is my lunch. It's a really messed up schedule. And so the math teacher pulled me to the side at 7 o'clock in the morning. And he said, look, Yan, this is before I became Peter. So they call me Yan, right? Look, Yan, I really like you. I really know. Oh damn, no more Stony Brook. Cause I really like you, and I hope you can graduate. But your grades technically it's a 55. I hate to tell you it's a 55. But you know what? I'm gonna be a nice guy. I'm gonna let you pass. I'm gonna give you a 65. So I didn't bother to call back Stony Brook. So, but knowing the fact that Purchase wanted me, I want to see the campus. I wasn't too impressed. Not to mention, I went there like in a dead winter, so I wasn't impressed. How New York State upstate is. Dead winter is very bold. Mom said, "Oh, you know what? You should you should stick around in the city, get closer. Why don't you go to Baruch, learn business, be like your mom?" My mom is always been she passed away 4 years ago, right? And but before that, she was always a power executive, a top sales lady. She sold aeronautics She competed against white male in the all white male industry, aircraft industry, aeronautics. But she was good, man. My mom's arrogant, she's confident, and she got a crazy ego, and she know that she didn't get, even though she didn't get the fair pay that she wanted. I was a mama boy. Yeah, I was a mama boy. I listened to her. A lot of people, despite I went to punk rock show, hardcore shows, on the weekends. I'm always in the mosh pits. I have a trucker mouth, but you know what? When time to go home, I go home, right? I went home. I actually try to do homework, and I try to be the good son, I try to be filao, when it comes to living in a Chinese house, sometimes depending on who you live with, my mom, she care about, when she's being loved, she wants to be genuinely loved, right? At the same time, she can take it or leave it, right? So she often tell me, look, Yan, I don't expect you to be completely genuine to your mom, but at least if you can just do it, just show it, right? So this is also her business character. She's always got this front, right? She always got this front, and always look pleasant. Because when I used to do sales too, man, there's more slum days than the good days. It's the slum days that truly prove the character of a salesman. So that's how mom was, and so that's why I know how to kiss up to her. I know how to do the little things, She's a single mom. She was single most of the time. She dominated men. She exclusively dated white people because from her generation, who, Chinese man from mainland China, who grew up through Cultural Revolution, who grew up through maybe, going through the Great Leap Forward, Great Famine, 1983 severe strike, in 89 Tiananmen Square. But we're talking about the earlier stuff, and that really changed the man. So my mom feel Chinese man from that era, from her generation, and they're not their mind no longer cling, right? So they're not easily conquered. So my mom find white man to be very naive, to be more hopelessly romantic. Therefore, for her to be easier to manipulate and to control. So I know on social media a lot of time people talking about the whole culture of white male and Asian female, how this whole colonialism, power play, I don't know what's going on. And I tell them, you know what? I see something completely different. My mom is not a young girl, right? When she was online dating, she was already in her 50s, but she's looking for these American men, whether they're Republican or Democrats, but they're very naive, very, very straightforward thinking, straightforward talking. They don't go around the corner. They let you know they're feeling. They want to cry. They want to cry. They want to smile. They want to smile. So mom doesn't find that lot in a lot of Chinese men from her days. So perfect. You want a healthy relationship, mom. So that's what you got to do. So she immigrated here in 1989. At the time, Deng Xiaoping opens the door. Mom was she worked for the State Department. She started as a worked for travel agency, right? So she obviously got exposed a lot to the outside world through the travel agency. Of course, in those days, the American who could travel to China, they were, pretty much the what I call worms, white old Republican men. So older man, white man with money, they're able to afford the fuel price and fly to China and tour the whole place. And my mom spoke beautiful English. She graduated from Nanjing University, English major. So from there, she went on to more business side. And she been to Hong Kong. She headed the WTO, World Trade Organization in China at the time. So basically, gave her the opportunity to come to New York City, trying to set up a delegation with the Port Authority and go back to China. And then suddenly 1989 Tiananmen Square happened, and that's like a major turnoff for the Western thinking. Oh no, we can't go there anymore. So yeah, Henry, you're my Facebook friend, man. You can always stalk my galleries. I'll be more disappointed that if you haven't even looked my photos yet. So please look around. You see her beautiful photo? It's there somewhere. I'm definitely not the kind of a son who don't like to keep family photos. I think I have more family photos than anything. Even on Instagram, look around. It's there. Maybe you should do like a hashtag or something. Mom's Day, pancreatic cancer or something. You'll find it, but don't worry. I'll send it over to you, man. How did she teach you to cope? She didn't teach me to cope what? Cope with Tourette syndrome? Is that what you mean by cope with this? Because she didn't teach me to cope this, actually, let me go back up the comments here. Mama boy. Okay, so I think people in class, go back to class, right? It's like 1:14. I guess I'm taking a full lunch break. I'm not exactly part-time, doing some free work right now. How did she teach me to cope with Tourette syndrome? She didn't teach me, actually. So my Tourette started. My Tourette started in China when I was age 8. Didn't really have much. I was to stick my tongue out a lot. So my dad thought that I was trying to imitate a snake. From imitation, it got worse, became a bad habit. So that's also how the doctor thought in China. It's mostly about bad habits. So when it came to the States, it got real severe. Mom and dad always fought. Maybe it's because my father suddenly went back to China. That was very, very traumatizing. But growing up, seeing them fight all the time. Despite they got divorced when I was 13, it wasn't too much of a blow. Maybe it is. Maybe that's what triggered a lot of my tick to come out. But you never know exactly what the onset cause is. There's always the cause, there's the trigger, a different timeline. We shopped around a little bit. When my tics got really severe is after I moved from Elmhurst to Bayside, Queens, for better school, and and my tic also became more severe. Bayside at the time, it's not like now. Now it's very Asian. Now you got a lot of Korean, a lot of Chinese in Bayside. But back in 1992, Bayside, Queens was like Long Island, was like Nassau County. It was really, really white. And my mom thought it's a great place for me to learn English, to assimilate. So maybe it's that actual pressure kind of produced more tics for me because of stress. And my mom also had some symptoms. She has ADHD and OCD symptoms, but my mom always felt that if your mind can conquer everything. So it's not biological. Okay, it's a semi-involuntary neurological disorder. So it has to do with the chemical imbalances between your impulse, your brain cells. It has to do with the firing mechanism. It has to. That's why OCD and Tourette is so heavily involved, because if obsessive compulsive disorder also involve overfiring impulses. One person think about a depressing thought one time and let it pass. Me, I think about a depressing thought maybe 25 times and it doesn't pass. So it might bounce back, get recycled, pick up some other negativities, and then bounce back, come back and forth, back and forth. You got buried, and then the thoughts come out again. So, that's the reason why, a lot of people didn't realize that OCD it's part of the whole Tourette genre. I mean, it's all within it. You have the Tourette iceberg that defines so much other symptoms that you don't actually see. It's what's going on inside your mind. So it's biological. It affects the psyche. It's vice versa, because there's theories talking about the tics came out of psychological traumas, right? And or vice versa, already played together. You know, when I was growing up in the 90s, the doctor first diagnosed me back in North Shore University Hospital, Long Island Jewish. Uh, Sounds draining. Yeah, yeah, definitely, man. I was a draining kid. My mom is single mom. My mom she's very affectionate. My mom was very she was my mom was hot and cold. Very much like her personality, very much like how she is with her personal relationship with other men. She's hot and cold. Mom has a sharp tongue, tofu heart. So she'll strike you down with the meanest shit, and then next thing you know, she'll hug you and cry a river. But then once her ego boosts up, she become blind and deaf, and then she might hurt other people feeling. And then you ask her about it, she'll turn around and gaslight you. So I have a lot of that from her. At the same time, I also understand the reason why her and I will never get along, even until she passed. She pretty much angrily passed away. I already settled that because you know what the deal is. A lot of time when sons fight the most with their mom is also because they love their mom the most. You know, too similar. Mom and I were too similar. So a lot of time, moms see the mistake about to happen to me, and she trying to force her way in to tell me, don't do this, you're gonna make the mistake. But mom also, realized that she learned everything through her mistakes by smashing against the wall, and I also need to be put into the same trial. So I see some not so happy icons. It's okay. It's okay. I'm very, very straight when I talk about family issues, when I talk about mom and son. I'm not the greatest son. We have so much thing going on. I don't always talk about the things that you want to hear. I don't talk the cliche stuff. If you ask me, do I really love my mom? I might not give you a complete straight answer because it's very complicated. So is Tourette syndrome. And living with your parents. I just finished the book. Let me answer his question here. ADHD related. Yeah, 100%. Normally, with any Tourette diagnosis, as far as I know, Tourette syndrome, and then you have the site diagnosis. You have the ADHD. You have OCD. There are other cases where autism also diagnosed. But a lot of time I do see the ADHD, OCD, and Tourette combinations. So I sound like you. Oh, thank you very much. You are a handsome man. I think that's a compliment for sounding like you. Right? Sounds draining. Okay, so I guess that's not an angry emoji. Angry emoji will be color red or color orange. So that's more like, see, my normal face is the front. Right? If my eyes seem extra cloudy, so I might seem sad. But now that I look stupid, So I know the front, the front. The front runs in the family. My mom also got the front. My oldest son got the front. My father has a front. When you smile with the front, it's very difficult to figure out exactly what's he doing. Join with ticks. Hello. I'm so happy. More and more people joining in to the live video. 122. I was thinking earlier, maybe I should cut this video to just half hour. Despite the fact that my kids went away for the week, I thought we were gonna clean the house. But the kid's not around. What the fuck? Who give a shit? We're leaving mess, right? Now they're gonna come back. My wife be like, damn, we haven't even cleaned the house. So I'm like, honey, I'm gonna clean the house today. Don't worry. And then she said, what's the point? The kid's gonna come back. But I'm still gonna clean the house. But in between my break, I'm gonna tidy up a little bit here and there. I was sharing isn't a bit quiet without your kids? Very, very quiet, It is. It is very, very quiet. I mean, a lot of times she said, "What do you want to do? You want to go outside?" I'm like, "Where?" I mean, there's a lot of places to go. I live in the heart of Korean enclave. I'm here in Murray Hill, Queens. I got so many Korean barbecue places, so many Korean pocha house, so many Korean drinking places. At nighttime, I can go there and just fucking drink and talk shit. But you know what? The house is so quiet, man. I turn the TV off, and she's on her device, and I'm on my multi devices, and then I got my beer, I got food. There's no kids screaming. There's no the anticipation of the baby gonna pop up. It's great, man. It's great. This is the quietness no money can buy, and priceless. But of course, there's always that moment. Something's missing in the house. And so yeah, I'm looking forward to get my kids back. But for the time being, I'm gonna enjoy this. People ask me, you're a social media whore. I say, hell yeah. I say, I used to roam the nightlife. I used to roam the night scene. Man, I used to go here and go there. But, every time I come home as a bachelor, come home, right? Empty wallet, right? My hands empty. I'm not holding onto someone's hand or grabbing onto someone's ass cheek. I walk home to my Brooklyn apartment. I flip the light on. It's sad, Party's over. I'm home alone. It's a sad feeling, having a family now. I got 2 kids and a wife. You come home, I'm coming home feeling great, and then open the door. It's something else, But that's good and bad. And I miss my kids. Yes, I do miss my kids. I miss my kids a lot more than my wife, actually. It's true. Because, she always talk about that, how after giving birth to the second kid, suddenly her mother mechanism just shut off, So that's the reason why my second kid, my younger son, called me daddy. He still hasn't said mommy yet, because I've been with him like all the time, Of course, with the first kid, she was on top, with him all the time, But as she wanted to have 2 kids, because I came from China, so I can only have the one child experience, right? But she grew up with 2 other siblings, right, in a big family, and so to her, having 2 kids is the must. She understands the whole codependency, both, carry each other's weight, and I don't understand a lot of that because I grew up as the only child, and so, but after like 2 or 3 years, with the first kid, and she also, felt, very comfortable with one kid, and also he's such a pain ass, going through terrible 2, going through asshole 3, right? We don't want another one coming through. Plus, then she answered a calling, and she answered her spiritual calling, right? And she became herself now the Korean shaman. And so with, I don't want to go too detailed into that, but with that whole spiritual entanglement, it gets very overwhelming. So we don't want to have the second kid anymore. And then we're being protective, we're being safe. But just like the first one, it was total breakthrough, to prove to you that pill doesn't always work. So the second one also came as a surprise, right? But this is also when her mechanism kind of turned off. And we can come back to the story, right? Kids bring joy and help to keep your mind busy. Being alone gives a load. Yeah, it's true. It is true. I often tell people, I don't like to speak the cliche. When people say, a lot of time you talk to people online, you talk about how stressful it is to have one kid, right? And then suddenly you have friends who think they're helpful, but they're not exactly helpful. They can tell you, oh, yeah, wait till your son is 15. Oh, I got a 16 and a 17-year-old teenager, Or, oh, I have 2. Oh, I have 3. You're not helping here, right? So I don't like to give out the cliche. So I still tell other couples, I encourage them, don't do it. Okay, don't do it. Okay, enjoy your life. My mom always told me, stay single, or if you get into a relationship, don't get married and just keep going. All right, what's the point? She divorced. She sees through it. She don't want me to enjoy the expensive fanfare of one night of beautiful marriage, and she just want me to just dive straight into a relationship. She's like, no need to get married, no need to have kids. She's like one of the only grandparents who doesn't want to hold a grandkid. So my mom said, no. So, but that's not what prevented me from wanting to have kids. It's Tourette syndrome. But it's true. Kids do make my life a lot busier. I have Tourette. Not just Tourette. Maybe just for me. It just I'm destined to feel this way. I mean, I grew up. I think, for a good time, for a good part of my life, maybe elementary school, I wanted to, be a scientist, a biologist, right? I never wanted to be a doctor, right? I want to be someone who worked in a university. And I grew up in a university environment. I grew up next to Nanjing University with my both grandparents. They are professors, so I was exposed to the whole teachers and student relationship. So I wanted to be a scientist, a biologist, more preferably a professor or a teacher. So that's something I actually want to do before. And then coming to America, growing up, my mom, Tourette's, a lot of things happened, and then I lost my goal. Now going back to college. I didn't have the best time in college. When I went to Baruch, I started with like a 3.2 or something, 3.2, 3.3, right? And I just dropped down 2.8, 2.6. Next thing you know, I'm like 1.8, and I'm on probation. While going through college, I was still medicated, right? I was taking ORAP. ORAP, for those who have taken ORAP, ORAP is the pill that makes you very drowsy. But ORAP didn't exactly make me drowsy. I didn't have too much of that drowsiness from ORAP. Plus, I didn't take a lot. I know people who take like 4 or 5 pills a day. I just took my one pill. I forgot the dosage. I took my one pill overnight, right? Maybe I should have taken more. Who knows? But, the biggest problem with me and ORAP was that I had a very bad, very damaging. See you later, brother. Until next time. I'm extending this to 1 o'clock. So I'm onto medication. Tourette people are very random. So I'm kind of jumping around with different topics, different questions. So if you can stick around, hopefully I will answer back one of your questions. I'm still on this whole kid topic, right? How kid bring joy, right? The meds sometimes. Yeah, it definitely, is, make learning difficult. For me, it was the intrusive thoughts is really bad. Despite I embrace Tourette for a long time, but I couldn't stop myself from being overly self-conscious. And what I realized that now I totally blame the meds, because while I was taking meds, in school from 16, 17, 18, for a good 4 to 5 years, something happens in school. If I miss a shot in basketball, if I get a grade that's not so desirable grade, something happens, something embarrassing happened, I fought it in class, I start hearing voices, it's it's just like how you, thinking out loud, how you think to yourself, but then the whole thinking pattern just repeats. It starts with, Peter, you stupid, Peter. Why you do that, Peter? Right? And then, it eventually develops into different voices. I used to hear my mom's voice. So that's also the reason why when I tell my mom about these voices, she doesn't believe me. Because, why would she believe her son telling her that the voice her mom is driving him nuts, right? And that's that aspect. So even the doctor don't understand. So throughout college, these thoughts became so severe that a lot of time I have to take off from school, take half day off here and there so I can go to sleep. Because if I don't go to sleep, I kept on hearing these voices. To the point, the voices like, you stupid, you should never live, you should never stay on this earth, you should just die. I had suicidal thoughts, while taking medication, ORAP in college. I was at one point was full-time school, part-time work, and then became full-time, and then became part-time, difficult to juggle, and so amidst of this, I stopped the medication. I had a nasty withdrawal. I slept for like a good 16, 17 hours. We did this. Yeah, exactly. You're right. The whole "I'm stupid, you did this wrong." Yeah, it's true. A lot of time it's like my mom was like she's a partial tiger mom. So she's pretty harsh with her language. I was saying earlier she has in Chinese we call that a 刀子嘴豆腐心, right? So basically knife like mouth, right? Tofu like heart, right? So she's very harsh, rigid outside, but very soft inside. Mom has a lot of traumas, a lot of psychological disorder from her past, which she never really were able to deal with. Her way of dealing with her issues, her traumas, is to fight hard. Bah, bah, bah. So she's always rigid, always going up against the grain. I think this is the very cause of her pancreatic cancer, I feel. Despite she thought she ate healthy, she thought she ate healthy, she didn't care about certain details in cooking. But then again, she's a old school Chinese woman, right? But she didn't smoke, she didn't drink, she exercised regularly. She's always been petite, but eventually she got caught up with this whole pancreatic cancer, and she fought hard even through the cancer. She was in denial for a long time, but she always wanted to fight back. So she was on chemotherapy and remission, back and forth. She fought hard for 3 years, man. 3 years, and she continued to work throughout this. Once she stopped working, she got sicker. So it's she's an actually ordinary woman. And that also translates to these condemning tick attack slamming me. And so after I quit meds, I felt reborn. I felt like, wow, I can do so much. And I was pretty wild, and I was even more out of focus, especially with schoolwork, because now suddenly water tastes better, fruit tastes sweeter, sex tastes more, it just is more passionate, everything's so much better when the meds went away. So I guess I wanted to enjoy the life more now as a new person. And so school just went down. So eventually, after a good 4 years stick around in school, so I finally made the decision that I should just stop and maybe continue sometime later. So that's what I did. So I got some odd jobs, got some good jobs. Eventually I got myself in an industry which I didn't want to be in. And suddenly I found myself shoulder to shoulder with my mom. I never wanted to become a business person like her. Suddenly I'm doing everything she does. And so for a while, I felt very goalless, right? Despite I've always been praised for my personality, my quality at work, right? But, when it comes to a career or a job, I never really had a specific goal of what I want to do. It's always, when the job is handed to me, I always do 100%, and I like it, right? So in a way, before kids came to the scene, I I often get overwhelmed with these endless hopeless thoughts. I think I dwell in the darkness a lot more than now. But when kids come, suddenly my goal, I found something I can focus on all the time, which is my kids. So it's simple as that. I get to focus on my kids. They became a focal point, and then suddenly I have a goal in my life, and everything come together, and it's great. I mean, I didn't want to have kids before because because of passing of the Tourette's. But then again, there's a chance, right? There's a chance. Also, even if they have it, no one else can give them more positive outlook, guidance than myself. And I'm very lucky, for pulling through without having meds for the later part of my life. Let me see what's going on here. Thank you very much. Yeah. Yeah. This was my at the time. This is my ex-wife at the time. People are like, yo, ex-wife, what? How old are you, man? I'm proud of my life, man. I mean, I was telling my friend on Instagram, so I'm gonna jump into another story now, but I'll come back very soon. So I tell him, Mr. Move and Speak. He's the creator and founder of the current movement, #7 Days of Tourette's. And he was describing how he, at his current age, he felt like, he doesn't have much accomplishment to speak of, He can only think of this one thing which he did, but it's already years ago, If I have to tell you about those great days of me focusing on my lens in the press pit, how great I feel, rock and roll at a fashion show. But that's already 5-6 years ago, right? Even with those times, I felt empty inside, But now, I defeated my fear. Right? Not only did I have one kid, I got 2 kids now, I still haven't finished all my school, right? But I've been working since I was 14. I got my working paper. My mom didn't make a lot of money, but at the same time, I always had a place to live, food to eat. Right? So she encouraged me to get the experience. And now thinking back, it's really good. It's a really good thing to do. I will put my kids through this also. I got my working paper since I was 14. Working in Dunkin' Donuts, Subway, retail, all those things they add together. I talk to other people with Tourette's. Self-control is an issue, so saving money is an issue. Despite working for so long, I didn't save a lot of money, right? Working for so long, I didn't reach a certain financial ceiling, right? I still haven't owned a big ass house with two garage, but look at the current environment right now. It's tough, man. Just like China, opening up, become more flexible for the one-child policy. Now they allow 2, but due to economy, due to standard of living, people can't afford to have 2 kids anymore, right? It's never too late. Yeah, definitely, man. Yeah, it's never too late to do something. Exactly, never too late. Also, what I learned, if you fight your parents a lot, right? I learned the hard way, fighting with her. Even at the last second. A lot of time, people with Tourette's dealing with old school parents or arrogant, stubborn parents. How much we hope they can change, but actually, if you change yourself to help compromise the other person, it's the same. It takes the same amount of energy to do that as opposed to use the same amount of energy to fight back. So in Buddhism they say 退一步海阔天空, right? If you step back, right, and you see a bigger picture, right? And and this is something I learned from Tourette's and relationship and family dealing. It's not so much of how much you hope they can understand, right? But it's also how much you can make yourself understand and try to just be tolerant, of especially your loved ones, because making them trying to understand you is really, really hard. But then you just be kinder to yourself, step back a little bit, don't expect so much. A lot of time, parents expect me to be better, expect me to have a tick-free day. Yet that expectation itself is the reason why I'm ticking more today. So you gotta cut down the expectation between each other, especially in a relationship. I find a lot more healthy. Let's see here. Oh man, been going on here, and I'm still not hungry yet. Thank you so much for all the hearts. It's coming through. I know whenever I do a live video, it's never always the best time for a lot of people. I just happened to work from home today. I just happened to not decide to eat, because I ate too late. I had my breakfast too late, so that's why I'm doing this video. But at least I actually, put out a message letting people know, oh, here we go, hello, Brianna, hello, what's going on? I was just talking about how my live video come on at a very odd time. We have different time zones, and this is also worldwide. And it's 1:45 New York City time. I still got 15 minutes on the clock. I'm gonna go back to do my day job. I'm just I started with no goal, talking about Tourette syndrome focused live video, and then already we have many audience participation, a lot of questions. I might have misanswered questions, but yeah. If you guys got more questions, I'd love to answer. I'd love to talk. I was telling, wow, 7:47. Wow, hey, good evening. Yes, it's Friday evening. And I have a few German friends over here, especially my man Eric Ball, from Westchester. He's the headliner of the polka band, right? Alpine Squeeze. Yeah. Yeah, we have a nice polka culture here, especially during Oktoberfest. So I was invited to Central Park. Don't want to sound rude, but thanks, seeing older person, Tourette. Oh, thank you so much. Oh no, definitely. I'm old actually. I was at a recent Tourette meet, and I'm talking to a few new friends. And I realized how old I am, that I'm 39, right? I'm still very young, especially I'm Chinese. I have the good gene. 39 being the new 19, I still get caught sometimes, you know what I'm saying? It's great. Hey, Alejandra, what's going on, Alejandra? How are you? Thank you for joining in, And I know you've been giving me a lot of support with all my other Tourette rap and Tourette videos. Appreciate the love. So I'm doing this Tourette live. This is it's exciting week. Doing this whole hashtag 7 days of Tourette's. I was telling the founder of this project, 7 Days of Tourette, that the most important thing about running a live video is to imagine yourself like Ted Cruz. I'm not a fan. But when he does a talkathon, wow, that's talkathon. Talkathon is the essence of live video. I feel, I seen a lot of live video where even Tourette live video, and not to say anything bad, but I personally find it a little boring if you don't interact and just kind of sit there. Sometimes people be like, hey. Like, this is a good point. I just thought about something great. Cropolalia, right? I was telling my new friends that for me, cropolalia started as somewhat intentional for me. Now, for the new listeners, you might not know what cropolalia. Cropolalia is it's a type of, there are different type of tics associated with Tourette's. You have the motor tics, which you see in my face. You have the vocal tics, like this. And I also mentioned in my earlier video, there's another tic I do, which is this came from a cropolalia, which was fuck you bitch. That's something I used to repeat. So cropolalia usually is associated with tics that repetition of obscene language. So I know I have friends who will tic, racial slurs. It gets very difficult, especially in this current political time, a divided America, and you walk around with racial slurred tics. I cannot imagine how that is. But hey, but I talked about my own cropolalia. How I started with fuck you bitch is that, when I was 11, 12, I just came to America, and I first heard about the Taiwanese, when they say fuck, they say gan, right? Because I came from mainland China, People's Republic of China. We say bitch muffin. Yo, I have a friend who does this tic, vocal tic. He basically repeats my little son Leo. He say, "Don't fuck with Leo. Don't fuck with Leo." Yo, I'm like, yo, dude, that's the best tic ever, So back to my cropolalia story. That when I first came, I learned that gan is how the Taiwanese say fuck. So I wanted to say a lot, and at the same time, I realized I'm saying a bad word. So because I'm trying to stop myself, this is how I trigger myself into overthinking about this word, because I have OCD. And the whole impulse, the whole notion of, I want to say gan. It's like, yo, where's Coke? Where's Coke? Where's Coke? It's just like addiction. It's addiction. This urge wanting to tick, it's an addiction. Yo, it's like, where the fuck is the Coke? I'm fucking pulling my shirt. I want to tick. And I want to say gan, 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 right? And even now I want to say the urge comes back. Despite it comes back, the counteraction from a long time ago also come back. It's this the wonder of biology, man. It's almost like how disease and white blood cell works. When the appearance of disease is in the bloodstream, so is the rush of the white cell coming through. So when an ancient tic is triggered because I read something or I met someone who have an ancient tic of mine, the ancient tic re-emerge, so does the counteraction. So when I want to say gan, I'm already, see? That's how I know when to stop. Right? When I want to do tongue stick, I immediately press my tongue against the back of my teeth. So this is the action I learned to help me slowly wax and wane the tics and slowly make things die down. But they never go away. They are stored inside the memory bank, the subconscious slot number 213, only for Tourette syndrome tics. And back to cropolalia. So from gan to fuck, it's basically the same thing. That it's obscene. And I found it interesting to say it. I like the shock value I get from people. So to me, it's already a sensory addiction by saying fuck. Oh my God, someone gonna catch me. Fuck, and then someone gonna wow. What'd you say? So that's already I'm getting my whole positive reinforcement every time I do it. So that helps me overthink, and that I think what really triggered me into a classic tic. So fuck you bitch is a little more complex because not having the best relationship with my mom, we're often in these tight spots. And I was old enough. I'm 14, 15. I'm old enough to have those bad thoughts about mom. I'm old enough to be so angry that I want to say "fuck you, bitch." But of course, I can't say it. So it's being replayed inside my head. So that's why even now, when I'm being put into this kind of pressure spot, when I can't say something, when I want to just say "fuck you, motherfucker," but I gotta hold back, and that's what my this is the stress caused my tick to come out, especially. So my wifey is husbands out there, we often get blamed for a lot of things. So my wife couldn't find the car key for the last whole week. I know she put it somewhere. It wasn't me, but she said it's you. You the last person who had it, right? I actually found it. I worked so hard to prove my innocence, and I found it, right? But then she just blew it off like, "Oh, I'm sorry," But there are so many situations as a husband who have to compromise, who have to hold things and eat shit. And that's when I told her this too. I said, "Honey, you know what that means?" I said, "Honey, it's actually fuck you, bitch," right? So she's like, "Well, really?" So how this fuck you, bitch ended up as, well, first of all, to conclude my own experience with cropolalia, it started as intentional. Because it is obscene, therefore there's the curiosity factor, and then this is also taboo. So it's like it's like freaking pornography, man. It's like it become addiction, sex addiction, drug addiction. It's so close to tick, the urge to tick, the sensation, and once you did it, it's pure satisfaction, and that's why whenever people compare Tourette to addiction, I'm like, 100%, man. Because it's something involuntary, you can always suppress. But I would take that to another episode of the live video. But I'm not finished yet. Hey, I see Jesse just coming through. Thank you so much for joining in. I got like 5-6 minutes. It's New York City time, so time is gold. I'll make the 5-6 minute last. Hey, back to cropolalia, how I turned "fuck you, bitch" into. So, I talked about this whole thing about ventriloquist at the Tourette meet this week. I talked about ventriloquist, right? I said suddenly I remembered that while I was going through cropolalia, was saying "fuck you, bitch." I also kind of got fascinated by ventriloquists playing with dolls. So I thought to myself, how would I say "fuck you, bitch" without moving my lips? Like, "fuck you, bitch, fuck you, bitch." I'm not the best ventriloquist, right? So you never see me playing with a puppet. But that's kind of got me wondering, what if I can just say "fuck you, bitch" without moving my lips? So, through months and years of practice, I finally, got to the point where I can say "fuck you, fuck you." Now I kind of explore how to reach the satisfaction of making this vocal tick work to satisfy my cropolalia urge of saying "fuck you, bitch." So I think by doing I want to kind of reach the sound. Because even with facial tics, when I'm trying to stop it, it's always this very, very rigid tension. Like, you kind of have to pinch nerve. You kind of have to, overuse it. Once you overuse it, your muscle tense up and relax. I kind of want to get that feeling, but it's more vocal. So then I realized, let me play with the pitch, right? So I went from, so when I hit the higher note, wow, I'm satisfied, it's as good as saying "fuck you, bitch," right? So now I can, so years later, I'm 39, not 39 yet, I'm 39 in April. I'm Aries. So, oh wow, I didn't realize there's actually a freaking limit for live video on Instagram. I got 20 seconds. Wow, I should reach the maximum potential of an Instagram live video. Thank you so much for watching 7 Days of Tourette. I will definitely notify everyone next time, and I'll try to do one at nighttime or on a weekend. Thank you so much. Enjoy. Cheers.